Jai Ho, my dear students, I am Ratnakar Suryamshi from SK Public School. See, in the last class, we have learned about the tracing changes through 1,000 years, right? We have started already, and I told you about the two important maps. One map which is drawn by whom? A Persian traveler or a geographer called Al-Idrisi, right? In 1154. And then another map we have learned about another map, that is the map created by French chronicler, and that map was created or drawn in 1720s, right? And even we learned what were the differences between those two maps, correct? No? How were the locations, how those locations are pointed there or located there, with which language, with the use of which language, about all these things we have learned already in the previous class, right? Today we will take up another topic in the tracing changes through 1,000 years. I mean learning about the changes which took place through about the 1,000 years of history. About all those changes we are learning. So the second topic in this is the new and old terminologies. Which one? The new and old terminologies. So obviously here term, which means the definitions or the meanings of some places or the some words have been keep on changing or changed in the last 1,000 years. So about those also we can see historians say importantly historical records varied from one language to another language over the years. Historical records or the documents or the informations are varied from one language to another language. Even we can find various historical records or historical documents in various languages. And with the over the time, with the change of the time, the records or the informations we get, all those also have been changed in the last 1,000 years. For example, just if we take Persia, we will take one just example like this. Persia. See, the medieval Persian is different from the modern Persian. The medieval Persian is different. Persian language is different from the modern Persian language. How it is different? See, the language of medieval Persian and the modern Persian is different not only in terms of grammar and vocabulary. Not only in terms of grammar and vocabulary. Vocabulary means the meaning of the words. Not only in this, the modern Persian language is different from the medieval Persian. Even it is different in the word meaning also. I mean each word's meaning also. Meanings of the words also have been changed in the last 1,000 years. So this way, we can come to know that various historical documents which are found in various languages changed over the time. Another example, one we have completed, that is the medieval Persian and the modern Persian, how it is changed. Now we will take our own example. Our own example means we will take one beautiful example, that is Hindustan. Which one? Hindustan, right? So about this we will learn. See that in the 13th century, when in 13th century, the term Hindustan used by a chronicler in Persian language, called Minaz-e-Siraj. Who used it? Minaz-e-Siraj used a term called Hindustan when in the 13th century. He used it in the 13th century. And according to the term called Hindustan, or according to the term called Hindu here, which is coined by Minaz-e-Siraj, according to this we can come to know about the places which were dominated or the places which were controlled by Delhi Sultans. The places which were controlled or dominated by or ruled by Delhi Sultans, all those places together Minaz-e-Siraj called as Hindustan. Then which were those places? Punjab, Haryana, as well as the land between river, the land between the river Ganga and the river Yamuna. Punjab, Haryana and the land between the river Ganga and the Yamuna. This area, this region was called or termed as Hindustan by a Persian chronicler of 13th century who was that Minas-e-Siraj. And say then in the early 16th century also, in the early 16th century, in the early 16th century, Babur also used the term called Hindustan to describe the geography of the Indian subcontinent as well as to describe the fauna and the culture of the inhabitants of this subcontinent. Who used it in the 16th century the term called Hindustan? Babur used. And for what purpose he used? He used it to describe what? To describe the geography as well as fauna and the culture of the inhabitants of the subcontinent. For this purpose, Hindustan, a term used by Babur in the 16th century. And see, this is similar. I mean, the term used by Babur, it was somewhat similar to the term Hindustan used by a poet called Amir Khusro. Who was that? Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro also used the term called Hindustan. Who was that? Amir Khusro also used the term called Hind. Actually, he used a term called Hind in the 14th century. When he has used it in the 14th century, Amir Khusro used the term called Hind in the 13th century. That term was somehow, it was almost same or similar to the term used by Babur. That was Hindustan, to describe the geography or the culture of the inhabitants and to know or to describe or explain the flora of this subcontinent. So these both were almost similar. And say, this is what we need to understand, that how the term called Hindustan changed over the years, how the term Hindustan changed over the last 1000 years. And say, important point here, today the term called Hindustan, it do not carry any political and national meaning. The term called Hindustan present day do not carry any political or national meaning which we associate with the new term called India. India means we have a particular national meaning for this as well as a political association. With this we can refer. But present day we do not have any political and national meaning with Hindustan. We have the same meanings with India. So this is about the old and new terminologies. And then say, even foreigners, historians today have to be very careful. Historians today have to be very careful because the terms used in the past varied. Their meanings, their definitions of the same terms, same words were varied in the past last 1000 years. For example, foreigners. One more example. Which one? Foreigner. Say, foreigner, right? Today we know that foreigner means the one who is out of this country. The one who is not from this country is called as foreigner. Correct? No, the one who is from other country is called as foreigner, right? So its meaning was also changed in the past. In the past, foreigner means a strange person in a village. A strange person in a village who appeared. That person was called as foreigner in the past. I mean, a stranger in a village was called as foreigner in the past. This is one meaning, right? And say, the people or the peasants who lived in same village and followed a different religion, different culture, those were not called as foreigners. Why? Because they used to live in the same village, right? So that's why the strangers who appeared in village was called as foreigner in the past. But present day we have a different meaning to the foreigner. Foreigner means what do we call at present? We call as what? The one who is abroad, one who is from abroad, one who is not from this country is called foreigner here. So, and see, foreigner, in Hindi we call Pardes, in Hindi we call Pardesi, as well as in Persian language we call Ajnabi. What do we call? Ajnabi we call in Persian language. So, in this way, the term foreigner also changed in the last 1000 years. So this is the overall concept about the new and old terminologies. This is all about new and old terminologies. I mean how the word meanings, how the definitions of particular words have been changed in the last 1000 years. So in the next class we will take up another topic in the tracing changes through 1000 years. Thank you. Jai Hind.